What is the mark that I want to leave on the world? Think about the power of intention and what we want to create, because we are powerful beings. And I think we often get so hung up in the complications and complexities of this world that we forget that. We forget just how powerful we are. So I want to go back to your list of complaints from earlier. And maybe take a moment to revisit if you wrote 1 or 2 or 3 down, or maybe you don't need to write them down because you think about them and they're constantly top of mind for you. For each one of those things that hasn't been addressed during our time together, maybe let's just take 30 seconds and think about it. Is there something that you've picked up today that will help you address any of those complaints? So I'm going to pause for about 30 seconds and just let you reflect on that. All right, so now moving from that list of complaints, how can we reframe the conversation about what we don't like about our lives? And can we move to the miracle of gratitude? So I didn't really need this slide, but I thought that picture of the dragonfly wing was so awesome that I included it as a slide. I don't know why I love it so much, but anyway. There are many studies that are beginning to show, have shown, and are increasingly showing that people who build gratitude into their lives are happier and less depressed. There was one study that was done out of Berkeley, and they followed about 300 of their students and looked at the impact of gratitude practice for people who were struggling with mental health concerns. So they took this group and they broke them into 3 groups. Most of these people struggled with depression or anxiety. All of them were seeking counseling. So one group was instructed to write a letter of gratitude to someone else each week for 3 weeks. One group was instructed to write about their deepest thoughts and feelings about a negative experience. And the third group did no activity. By and far, and I've got the study cited here on the slide, by and far, not even close, the people who wrote the letter of gratitude to someone else for each week, just for 3 weeks, several months after this study concluded and not doing this, not continuing the practice, they still reap the benefits of this gratitude practice. So while it feels like this is kind of, ishy squishy fluff kind of, stuff to throw into our daily life, there are true benefits, powerful benefits to really focusing on what it is we're grateful for. And if you subscribe to, like attracts like, you think about what you're grateful for and the things that that you are appreciative of and that you like in your life, then you're going to replicate that and arguably make more of it. So let's take just a minute and maybe just stream of consciousness, whether it's 1, whether it's 5 or 7 things, list things that you're grateful for in your life. And when you think about this, and include something that that you want to acknowledge that went well in the past year. And that's not our normal area of focus when we talk about the past year, but think about something that went well in the past year. And now thinking about your list, and it changes from day to day, how can you express gratitude every day? Think about the things that you have or the things that you have had that you are really grateful for. One way to incorporate gratitude into our lives is journaling. And journaling can help us really deeply examine our life from the current moment. You could use your goals from earlier as prompts for journaling. You could use gratitude, but we can really tune into what's right and learn how to reframe what feels wrong in our life. Um, excuse me. Gratitude practices are wonderful when you journal them because you're integrating the mind and the body and the emotional parts of ourselves, and you're making a pattern with the powerful potential for shifts in your life. So in the morning, maybe you could read an inspirational quote or affirmation. You can envision what will fill today with joy and with meaning. Because we do the work we do. I mean, let's face it, the work we do really makes a big difference in the world, even though it doesn't feel like it every day. Maybe you have several days where it just feels like, oh my gosh, I've lost these grievances. We lost an arbitration. The employer's coming to us wanting concessions. But by and large and on balance, if you think about the impact that those of us in the labor movement have on the world, it's really, really remarkable. And if you incorporate these practices through journaling, for example, this is like it's like hitting a reset button for the days ahead. You could do it at night and reflect on what went well that way or that day, and you can determine what was your role in making that go well. Like attracts like. I did this well, this worked. I did it, commit it to memory, and that's going to start to create a pattern, and I'm going to do it again. You can use journaling to change your narrative, cultivating self-forgiveness. The more we forgive ourselves, the more we can be in the present. A focus on the negative is really a pull from the present and leading us back toward things we regret and things in the past. So maybe write down how do you talk to yourself, and be deliberate in interpreting negative messages that you send to yourself. Rewriting the script really helps us to change the stories that we tell about ourselves. And when you think about your vision and your goals that we talked about earlier, aren't we supposed to be living in the here and now? And when we work toward a vision and goals, we're living our way into the future by the way that we conduct ourselves in the present. So in other words, if we're in touch with and we practice the things that light us up, like really stoke our passions, we find our own vision naturally. And having goals and vision really is a key point in making happiness. One of the things that I do, not specifically journaling, but I use vision boarding, and you can also do affirmative writing that really can build the bridge between our current reality and our desired outcome. So journaling is a really good way to really put a lot of the things that we've talked about into practice and to really reinforce on a day-to-day basis. Some of those, some of that good juju, just keep it going. Remember these guys? Remember the ways of being, the attitudes or the behaviors that we thought about in the beginning of our time together. So what ways are you going to take forward today and really embody? Maybe it's not in the next year. Maybe it's only for today. Maybe it's just taking it day by day by day. Maybe it's maybe you have 10-year goals. Maybe you have 5-year goals. For each of the things that you chose earlier. So if you're thinking of a way of being, so I want to be peaceful. I want to be calm, or I want to be powerful. Choose a behavior. Maybe jot down a behavior right now that you would associate with that way of being. And what kind of attitude When you think about somebody who's peaceful or calm or just really presents in a powerful way, what is their attitude like? And then think about how can I make these things a habit? How can I really incorporate this into my life to make these things a habit? So we've talked about a lot. We've talked about really establishing, who we want to be as a leader. How does that align with our who we want to be as a human being, and how do we create alignment between those things and how we spend our time? Are we really manifesting what we want to be by prioritizing our activities on a daily basis? And what am I going to do? And what are you going to do to really cultivate habits in your life to help you live those things on purpose, living with purpose on purpose? And the sum of all of these things, I should have an equal sign here, is the answer to, it really is the answer to the question, what is it to live a life? What is it to live my life? So that's the thought I want to leave you with. I really, really hope that you've found one or two nuggets today that will help you really bring meaning into your life. The work you do is so critically important, and the world is depending on us as the labor movement to really hold the line and to bring justice and doing what's right in so many facets of society. So you're all so important to so many people, and I thank you so much for everything you do. And I hope that this presentation that I've gifted to you gives you something meaningful. And thank you so much for allowing me to present and for your time today.